Hey everybody, it's Tony's Big T Bariatric, and I'm back at you with another reaction video. It is January, it is Monday, it is the 30th. Let's get on with this reaction video. If you could do me a huge favor, please hit the subscribe button down below. It's down that way or down that way, it's something like that. Anyways, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. If you could leave a like or comment, that's awesome as well. I really appreciate it. So what I want to react to today is woman weighs 940 pounds and says everything hurts. I think this is the famous Samantha, so we're gonna get into it right now.
I'm still in Colorado and I've been feeling really sick for the past week, and my stomach pain has come back. So Bella's come back to look after me and help me. But this morning I started having chest pains too.
Oof, that's not good at all, especially when you're that size. And it could be anything from heartburn to maybe just having some indigestion, or it could be a heart attack. So when you really get that size, it could be a myriad of issues, and you get really, really scared because you don't know what's wrong with you.
And it's getting worse. And my whole body is. I'm swelling up and losing control of my bladder. So that's all scaring me, and I'm really worried what that means.
That's something else that happens too, is you lose control of your bladder. I mean, if you imagine what a pregnant woman goes through when she's carrying all this extra weight from her child and it's sitting right on her bladder. And so women often complain of not being able to control their bladder when they're pregnant. But when you're that big, you have the same problem. You get really bad incontinence, and you really can't control when you go to the bathroom. So when I was at my heaviest, I would often just have to go frequently. Or there's times when I wouldn't even think I had to go to the bathroom, and then just it would hit me suddenly, like, oh, this sudden urge to pee that I can hardly hold it. I've never peed the bed, thankfully, but yeah, it's very, very scary sometimes when you just can't even control your bladder because you have so much weight.
But I know it probably can't be good.
What's going on? What hurts?
Chest is tight. It hurts so bad. Like my shoulder blades hurt. Like up here hurts. Like someone's sitting on it.
Yeah, that's definitely not good. It's when you have chest pressure like that, it's more likely to be something like a heart attack, and you should call 911. It's not always the case, but I can imagine being her daughter here and just watching your mom suffering in this way, and she refuses to change.
I don't know what's going on with me. It's cutting off the circulation of my leg. And I also peed my bed twice last night.
Ugh, that's gross. Like I said, I've thankfully never been there, but that's a rough place to be when you pee your bed because you can't even get up to go to the bathroom. Like, hopefully that's enough for her to decide that it's time. Let's go.
I'm so full of water I can't even fucking walk. That's why I'm on this towel. I don't even feel good enough to like take my sheets off my bed. It's disgusting. Can
you imagine how many people who are over 600 pounds who live alone, or maybe they do live with somebody, but they don't have a caretaker, just how nasty their sheets are, because they just lay in bed all day long. They can't wipe themselves. They pee in their bed. It's just probably full of bacteria and grossness that you can't even imagine, and foulness. Ugh.
I literally just cannot move around and do anything. And I'm afraid something's happening with my heart. And I'm scared. It's congestive heart failure. So I'm gonna call the ambulance.
Make sure you tell them that you need a bariatric hospital.
Yeah, her daughter looks like she's getting up there in weight a little bit too. Not nearly as bad as her mom, but she must be watching her mom with all kinds of intense fear. But they've really passed down, Samantha's passed down her eating habits to her kid. And I don't know if she has other kids, but yeah, if you're the kid, you should see what your mom's doing. Like, I've talked about alcoholism before on this channel. Like, I've seen what it's done to my family. And so that's why I speak out against alcoholism at times. I'm not trying to ruin anybody's party. I just know the consequences of drinking alcohol. And in the same way, like, as a kid, and you see your parents suffering under obesity, like, it should make you want to change and not try to be like your parent who obviously has an addiction.
I've been in the hospital for around 6 weeks now. After they ran all their tests and everything, The good news was my body wasn't breaking down or anything that I was afraid of at that time.
It's breaking down, but it wasn't as bad as you thought it was in terms of heart. And so you escaped this time. But next time, you might not be so lucky. So you shouldn't use this as an excuse to, okay, I can go back to my old eating habits because it wasn't my heart. I wasn't dying like I thought I was.
But I still have so many health issues related to my weight, so they haven't felt like it's been safe to send me home. Doctor now wants them to put me on a controlled diet here, but it turns out they don't really do that.
Seriously? A hospital won't put you on a controlled diet? Like you can't put in a special prescription or order saying, hey, give this patient only a certain amount of calories per day? I can imagine where a hospital wouldn't do that. So maybe she's rejecting that? I have no idea. Maybe she's ordering in food? Like, what hospital is going to say, no, we can't do that. We can't put you on a controlled diet?
Or at least not how Doctor now wants. He's been checking in on me and some of my treatments, and I have a video call with him today.
Hey, Sam.
Well, at least Dr. Now is still checking in, but yeah. I don't understand how a hospital just is not able to help.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
Just gonna get a weight on you.
Does this have to be off?
Oof.
All right, looks like 940. This.
Seriously, you're in the hospital and you gained 140 pounds. What? Is this chick serious? Now I'm starting to see the problem here. It's not the hospital refusing to help. She's refusing to help herself. She's been in the hospital for 6 weeks and she gained 140 pounds in 6 weeks. How do you do that? Who is enabling you? Who's bringing the food in? At 940 pounds, you're not getting out of bed and going to get the food. And I doubt the hospital is giving you enough food to help you gain 140 pounds. This ain't water weight. This ain't anything else. Somebody's bringing her food. She's ordering food. Something is happening here. I'm starting to get frustrated at all these hospitals that patients can go into and they could just eat to their heart's content and order out. And they're supposed to be there getting care, but the doctors and nurses do not care that they bring in extra food. Like, how are you going to be scared that you're dying and you might be having a heart attack, but then turn around and gain an additional 140 pounds in the hospital? Like, at what point are you going to realize you're killing yourself?
This morning. Okay.
That's not good news.
Anything I can do for you right now?
Nope.
Okay.
That's it.
See you soon.
Thanks, Allison.
You're welcome.
I mean, well, I don't even understand how you're just disappointed in yourself at that point. Like, you should be beyond disappointed. I don't even know what reaction you should have to that you gain 140 pounds while you're in the hospital. Like, you must have been eating 24/7 to gain 140 pounds in 6 weeks. At some point, the hospital should have contacted Dr. Now and been like, this lady is crazy. She has not stopped eating. She's eating us out of house and home. I can imagine the tax bill, the burden that she's placing on the people for her to just waste time being in the hospital. And she has all these health issues related to her weight, and she's refusing to do anything about it.
Hi, Samantha.
Hi.
How you doing?
I've seen better days, but I'm doing okay, relatively.
No, you're not doing okay. Why are you laughing? Like, I would be in absolute tears at 940 freaking pounds.
So I see that you're still in the hospital, huh?
Yep. Because I've developed some new health issues.
Like what issues?
Skin has been a big problem right now. My right side is bigger. It's so full of fluid that the pores, I don't really.
It's so full of fluid. Okay, I understand lymphodemas and stuff have fluid in them, But are you about to blame your 140-pound weight gain on fluid?
They have wounds over there. The pores themselves are just weeping fluid.
Ugh.
They just put chucks under me and let me just weep all over it.
Well, that all sounds pretty bad.
It does sound bad. Like, at what point are you going to say, this is super uncomfortable? My pores are weeping. I have sores and wounds. I almost thought I was dying of a heart attack. Like, maybe I should start taking this seriously.
So your health is still deteriorating rapidly, and being in that bed all the time is not helping that. What is your mobility?
I can still stand, I can still walk, but I have to use a walker.
How can you stand at 940 pounds? You must have some super legs or something. She must be eating some Popeye spinach or something. I have no idea how she's able to walk at 940. I could barely walk at 670. Like, if I was doctor now, I'd be like, listen, chick, you have two options. You're either going to stay there and you're going to die, or I'm going to send an ambulance to bring you down to Houston and we're going to put you on a controlled diet. And those are your only two options. You can stay home and die, or you can come to Houston. But where she's at right now, she's got very little left.
So you realize that your weight is getting to a very dangerous point right now, and you're running out of time.
I know.
So why are you gaining more weight while you're in the hospital?
Well, I wasn't really following any kind of a diet plan. I mean, that's my.
Seriously, you're under Dr. Now's care, and you don't think you're following under some kind of a diet plan. So I don't know if that's the hospital's fault as much as it's her fault. Like, she's refusing to follow any kind of a diet plan. So Dr. Now didn't give the diet. So maybe, what the hospital said is, okay, we can't do that 1,200 calorie, high protein, low carb diet. But still, to be at the hospital and eating their food, it's impossible to gain 140 pounds unless you're bringing in outside food.
Problem. And I have to be completely frank with you. I'm sneaking food around.
Well, I have emailed you
Well, that's obvious, right? Like, there's no way that she gained that weight eating the hospital food.
the diet plan and talk to the hospital about putting restrictions on your food to help you do that. But
They just said that she just said that the hospital could not do anything about that. Like, if Dr. Now had the ability to restrict the food, why didn't he do that from the very, very beginning? She claimed that the hospital couldn't do that. So maybe it's all on her. Like, I was like frustrated, like, how come the hospital is allowing this to happen? But she's just using excuses at this point. I'm like flabbergasted. I don't even know what to say. The incompetence here. Like,
but so far that hasn't worked.
Yeah. So they just recently put me on a 2,100 calorie a day diet. So 700 calories a meal, and then yeah.
That's not the diet plan you need to be on. But even if you're eating.
okay, so I sort of misunderstood. So apparently Dr. Now did put her on a diet. And instead they put her on a 2,100 calorie day diet. But even with that, she's ordering extra food and sneaking food in. So they're not paying close attention to her. But even on a 2,100 calorie diet, she should have been losing weight instead of gaining 140 pounds.
2,100 calories, you would have lost a lot of weight. But you're still eating around 10 to 12,000 calories a day on top of being on bed rest. So this is a bad situation where.
Yeah, she is eating so much food. It's impossible that the nurses or the doctors have not noticed somebody bringing her food. Who is bringing her food? Is it her daughter? Does she have a spouse or a man, child, boyfriend, or something like that? I don't know.
You're just gonna gain more weight and get more weight. You won't be able to get up and walk. You're almost hitting around 1,000 pounds, huh?
Yeah.
She's out of breath just sitting there talking to Dr. Now. I mean, now it looks like she's showing some emotion. Like, she should have been crying her eyes out before that and realizing how bad it's getting.
It's impressive. You can still stand up at almost 1,000 pounds.
It is.
But being bedridden at your weight, there'll be no way you can survive long. And it sounds like your body is already giving out.
Well, hopefully the fact that she's crying now, like, is a wake up call for her that she's like, wow, I'm about to hit 1,000 pounds. Like, it's now or never, Samantha. Now or never.
So I'm going to send you the 1,200 calorie diet again. Okay? And try to follow that, which means no snacking. You only eat 3 times. You eat only about 400 calories per meal. You can
She's nodding her head like, I know I'm not going to be able to do that. No, I can't do that.
have the cooked vegetable and salad. And 4 to 6 ounces of meat with that.
I'm just really scared. Like, I'm overwhelmed right now.
I mean, it is pretty scary. And, you know, a lot of people think, okay, I'm just going to put you on this diet and you're going to lose weight. But there's a lot of emotional triggers that come with food addiction. And I've talked about that many times before, how it's like breaking up a toxic relationship. Something that you know is killing you, that's hurting you, but you don't want to break it up because it's like it gives you so much pleasure and joy, and you've had it for decades. To get to be almost 1,000 pounds, she's had a food addiction for decades. And yeah, it's going to be overwhelming to her. But even if the hospital refused to comply with Dr. Now's orders, she spent as much money on food. She could have denied, say, hey, don't bring me any food. I'm going to have someone bring me over the protein and stuff that I need to be compliant with Dr. Now's diet. So she could have done it regardless of what the hospital was giving her. She spent so much money on food, she could have done it a very healthy, much healthier way.
It's gonna be a lot of things. Food is my entire life. I don't know what I am without food.
And that's how you can begin to see the intense emotional connection that people have with food. Like, they don't know anything else than that. That's been their whole identity. That's the only thing that's getting them out of bed, that gives them pleasure, is food. So it's a lot more than just saying, hey, go on. You're going to have to get to that point if you're struggling where you say, you know what, my life is more important. There are other things that I can live for. And I'm telling you, as somebody who's lost a lot of weight, like, I broke my connection to food, where it was the most important thing in my life. And now I'm finding out that there are other joys that I can have, other pleasures in life. And so you're going to find that out too. Like, if you're at a point where you think food is the only thing that is keeping you alive at this point, it's not. It's the only thing killing you.
And if you don't make these changes now, then you're going to kill yourself with the food. You get that?
See, it's sad that she did not cry when she found out she was 940 pounds. She was a little disappointed. You could tell in her face. She didn't realize she had gotten that bad. But now she's sobbing like a baby because Dr. Now is being extra strict with her and telling her to get down to her 1,200 calorie a day diet. So she is at that breaking point. Whether or not she actually does it is the question.
Yep, for sure.
All right. Well, nice talking to you, and we'll be in touch. And if you have any question, give me a call.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. These past months.
Yeah, they should have done some extra work to get her down to Houston. I don't know what it would have taken if she had to come down on her own, or if Dr. Now would have sent an ambulance to come get her. But her being in Colorado and having only her own self-control to decide whether or not she sticks to that diet is not a good idea at that point. She needs more than just, hey, doctor, now let's get on a video call and put me on a diet. She needs more help than that. Anyways, guys, I'm just going to leave it right here. I really appreciate you. Please leave a like. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this episode. And if you have anything else you'd like me to react to, please send an email to me at bigtbariatric@gmail.com, all one word. I look forward to hearing from you. I love you guys. God bless.